right. Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Bazan, and I get to be an assistant chief here with the Austin Police Department. I am currently over the Investigations Bureau, which includes our Organized Crime Division. I'm glad you've taken this time today to discuss the importance of our community safety and the events that occurred last week and the steps that we're continuing to make to keep our community safe. Earlier this month, Chief Chacon spoke to APD's commitment to keep our community safe, especially in light of South by Southwest coming to town. To combat violent crime during this year's festival, the Austin Police Department launched a proactive operation aimed to disrupt gun crimes and human trafficking, to include child exploitation. The objectives included targeting individuals illegally carrying firearms, to intervene prior to those weapons being used to commit an act of gun violence, to disrupt or prevent violent crime in the downtown area during the festival, to improve the safety and overall perception of safety of the public during the festival, and to disrupt or prevent human trafficking and prostitution-related crimes in the Austin area during the festival. This initiative ran from March 11th to March 19th of 2022. APD's organized crime and violent crime divisions collaborated with state and federal partner organizations. This collaboration is an effort that we use to protect our community and festival goers on an ongoing basis from these types of violent crimes. So, during this operation, the Austin Police Department seized 61 firearms and made 130 arrests. We confiscated 250 pounds of marijuana and numerous other narcotics. I just want to acknowledge how proud I am of our officers and the work that they did and continue to do on a daily basis to keep our community safe. From a public safety standpoint, South by Southwest 2022 was a success. While there were 2 shootings over the entire 10-day festival, we will never know how many violent incidents were prevented from the seizure of these 61 firearms. If you have any information on individuals or groups of individuals who have illegal firearms or are committing acts of violence or other crimes involving guns, please call the Crime Stoppers tip line at 512-472-8477 or use a Crime Stoppers app. You may earn a reward of up to $10,000 or $1,000 and you will remain anonymous.
Were any of those arrests related to human trafficking, and have you all seen an uptick in that? If so, in what area? Why was there such a focus on that among this operation?
Sure, yes. Several of those arrests were dealing with human trafficking, and it's the norm across the country. Whenever there is a large-scale event, human trafficking and child exploitation crimes are on the rise. Unfortunately, predators use these large-scale events to make money and to solicit illegal pleasures.
And then we've, just been hearing about, and I think this has been really going on for years, but just gangs from Killeen and outside coming in. Is that something that you all saw a lot this weekend? Did you see a lot of outsiders from gangs come into Austin and commit some of these crimes, or do you know? So
I don't think there were any more outside gangs or persons committing crimes coming in this weekend as opposed to any other weekend. Austin being a major hub here in Central Texas, we see our share of visitors, and quite often we do get persons, good and bad, from other cities.
Anything you can expand on the 2 shootings during the 10-day festival? Was it people getting rowdy and someone was armed, or do we know if someone was being targeted for a specific reason?
So I can speak to the second one specifically. We do know that there were 2 groups of individuals that were having a disturbance with one another. So the acts of violence committed were against the 2 groups.
So they were, in a way, targeting each other?
Yes.
through the gun seizures, were most of those made as you all were, like during traffic stops, or how did most of those happen?
Sure, we had an influx of officers in the downtown area. And again, with this operation, we were specifically looking at any way we could make contact with persons with the intent of seizing illegal firearms. So our officers were aggressive in their approach whenever they observed any type of violation. They made contact with the individuals and just did routine investigations, just asking questions, watching for anything suspicious, and then any act that led to them having the belief that there was a firearm on that person led to the seizure of that firearm. I was also told that there were many festival goers that were carrying their firearms out in the open, which we're allowed to do here in the state of Texas. However, they did not have those firearms in holsters.
Just for clarification purposes, the numbers of the 61 firearms, 130 arrests, and the pounds of weed is from March 11th to the 19th.
That is correct, yes.
And can you repeat the pounds of marijuana that was seized?
We seized 250 pounds of marijuana.
Did you see any drug-related issues involving fentanyl or anything? I know, 2 weeks prior, we had an uptick in cases with that. Did you see anything related to that?
So I will say that I was told earlier today that there was a seizure of fentanyl and fentanyl-related narcotics prior to South by Southwest. So our organized crime division was able to intercept these drugs before they hit our Austin area.
Do you know where that happened at?
So I think it was all around the city, and I know they made seizures at the airport and just all over the city, yes.
Is there anything that will be changing with the protocol in regards to this initiative moving forward after the success of South by Southwest?
So we're always working to keep this community safe. Just because we have an operations plan or an initiative that are defined by certain dates doesn't mean that we're going to stop being proactive. It just means that we're going to have to find other ways to focus on these crimes. So we're going to continually work on violent crime here in Austin, especially when it comes to illegal guns and narcotics, but this operation period has ended.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.